Hi, welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm still Cara Kilduff.
Good to know.
I know.
We have a really, really wonderful guest with us who wrote
A new book of poetry.
Yes.
Thomas J. How do I pronounce your last name?
Bellezza?
Bellezza.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do it.
Tommy Bellezza from Dyker Heights.
Yeah, I come from Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. I wrote this book, and I was like, what are we talking about today? And I was like, let's go on talking about it.
I wrote this book. There's hardly any pictures. I don't know what to do.
I was going to make a book of 300 pages filled with 298 photos because I didn't want people to have to struggle to read. They could just read the intro and the outro, and they're like, yeah, I like the images.
Well, my first question was, who is she?
She is basically Mother Nature.
Okay.
But not our Mother Nature. So I write novels, and my music. So there's lyrics in the book as well from my band Tenebra back in the day, and now the band is Altanian. So it's about this fictional world. So my novels that I write about this world, and the stage shows, we play characters from this world. So she is actually the Mother Nature is Zandia. So that's who she is.
I like it.
Yeah, and that's who that's supposed to be, is Mother Nature.
This is cool.
Mm-hmm. And then if you look really closely, you could see like I made the book and the cover out of human bone and skin. I ground them down.
No, you didn't.
I sewed it myself, actually. I was like, that's why I only could bring one.
Oh, gross. I was just going to be like...
No. I would never do that. It would take like 2 humans to make one book. It just.
You think?
Oh yeah, especially because I only go after short humans because the tall people will beat me up. I want a fighting chance.
You're horrible. Horrible.
Well, with everything you just described about yourself, there's so much creativity emanating from you. And what was the initial process in putting this book together?
Well, see, I'm a very shy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed.
Yeah, and I'm an introvert, so I was like, how do I say everything I want to say without people judging me? So I was like, why don't I make a book to sell where people can rate me on Amazon? The inspiration was, I've been writing poetry pretty much my whole life. And there's a story on like where I started poetry and everything. But I focused my poetry probably around 2002 to 2006. And at that time, I had so much. But I just didn't know what to do with it. I was using it as away messages. I was sending it as gifts. It was my outlet to write about this fantasy world without writing books at the time. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm writing like 4 books right now, but I want to finish a book. So I was like, the poetry book, I have the most material for that. All I have to do is really format it. For an artist, that's probably the dumbest thing to think because while I was formatting it,
you were changing things.
Yeah, and it went from 98 pages to 237 pages. So, I added poems, and then obviously there's a plethora of poems in there about my wife, and then on top of it, I edited poems, and then there was like these blank spaces of page, and that, like the OCD in me was like, no, I need to fill up the page. So then I had to write like these little haikus or just random, 4 or 5 sentence poems, or even, and then in my heart, because I have a 20-year entertainment history. I've been in entertainment for 20 years. And, from my first band to Neighbor, I have a fan base, and people have been following me ever since, doing other things. So I annotated it with like little stories about myself, my personal life, the adventures with the band. I never really explain what the poems mean, per se.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, but I do explain maybe where the poem comes from, or like the purpose of the poem. So I'm not really interpreting it for the reader because I want them to do that.
Yep.
But I might say, like there's a character in there I talk about often called Morla, and she's the goddess of the dead in this world. So, since I use her name so much, at one point or another in the annotation, I'm like, Morla is, and I explain her history a little bit, and then I talk about my history, and it's just, I was like, how do I fill up the pages? But I just kept filling them up so much. I was like,
and it sounds like you have some more books inside of you that are going to come out.
I do. I actually have a self-help book that's almost finished that I have to get out, and then I have several fantasy books that are basically I outlined them all, and I started like 2 or 3 chapters for each book.
And is it all based on the fantasy world that you created?
The self-help book isn't,
No.
because that would be awkward. Magic? No. Gods and demons. This guy's crazy. Anthony Robbins. Anyway. Yeah. So all the fantasy books are based on. Actually, my band is based on these stories, and the books are based on these stories, and a lot of the poems are based on these stories.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I actually, funny story, I have 2 TV shows that we're working on that are based on those stories.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now I wish I had like the whole array to show you people
Like,
at
Yeah,
home.
there's so much in there. It's hard to just describe to the nitty-gritty in this format.
Well,
So-
yeah, I understand. I mean, I don't even have the words to use. You know, I feel bad that I'm hardly speaking, but
Because you're shy.
I'm so shy, like I'm nervous, you know.
Yeah.
So I get you with the source.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Like, you talk to me, I talk to you.
I mean, he was wearing a shirt and tie, but he was sweating so much that he had to change.
yeah, that's true. So now I hit the mic like it, but I'm wearing a shirt that makes me sweat on purpose. You know?
Okay.
Figured to cover up that I'm nervous. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I just had 2 shirts on.
Yeah, it's like a Spartan cape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I'm Sicilian, not
Yeah.
Greek.
No, I know, but they wore the red capes to hide the blood.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Shut up.
Well, why do they eat a lot of salad? I don't understand. You ever notice that? I don't know if you ever been to Greece, but they don't have diners, and if they did, they don't put the lettuce underneath the hors d'oeuvres. But here, every Greek diner has lettuce under the hors d'oeuvres. I don't understand that.
Extra roughage. Americans need more fiber.
We love, yeah.
Yes, we need our fiber.
Yeah, like, how do I get more fiber? You know, because you order those chicken wings, I mean the chicken fingers or the cheese sticks, and you're just like, you know what I could use? A piece of lettuce.
Oh.
It really balances out the diet.
I could use a wilted piece of lettuce.
We might have some in the kitchen.
Some sweaty lettuce.
Lettuce. I ate 4 of these chicken fingers. If only I had some lettuce, that would really make me feel healthy.
I could make a Thai lettuce wrap out of this chicken finger from a Greek diner.
Yeah.
That's America.
Well, I mean, if you're at a diner, really, the lettuce is the least of your issues. You know?
Who gets lettuce at a diner?
I don't know. It's like buying duck
Well,
at a
by
diner.
choice. By choice.
By choice, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like when you get those hamburgers and it has the big thick onion rings fried, and it has, you know, an unhealthy looking tomato. The meat itself is huge, and then it has this lettuce on there, and you're like, well, it's kind of healthy. I have lettuce. You know?
A little bowl of coleslaw that always stays on the table.
Yeah, that's like, because you know that there's no way that's healthy. Because they're just, oh, no one ate that? I'll just use it again. You know, like this.
It comes out of a bucket.
No, some places make it.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be someone
Come
that's
on, I
life
gotta
is so
believe it.
terrible. They're just like, I'll
No, I-
make coleslaw.
I gotta believe that somebody makes it their own.
I hope so.
I don't know. Well, we went off the rails in less than 5 minutes.
It's fine.
That's all right,
Okay.
man. I got strong arms. I'll hold on.
Now
So did you? I sent you the copy, and it seems like you read a little bit because before we came on, you had some. You said some things that represented what was in the book.
I said some things. Well, I did ask you. This is so sweet. On the back, he writes, "To my squirrel, my love." Who is your squirrel?
So that's me. No. No, that's my wife. That's
Sweet.
that's the lady of my life. And,
Oh,
yeah,
how long have
well.
you guys been together?
Eternity, in the best possible, most romantic sense of the word. You know, we try not to look at it like, oh, you know, on our 1 month we weren't like 1 month. We were like, oh, you know, 3,000 years plus this month. You know, like
Yeah.
we believe in the whole concept of soulmates and finding the person that's right for you. And so we're just like, oh, good, we get to continue our life together in this lifetime. You know,
Ah.
it's mushy, but you know.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a change.
Well, you know, I'm an old school Italian. It's,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah.
He didn't even want a plate in the green room for his pizza. He had
I had
a,
an Italian plate. It's a napkin. Sit down, have some food. Yeah, let me fill your plate. No, I'm good. I'm good.
So you're talking about this 20-year career in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You've written this book, but you also have a company.
I do. I have a production company. Yep.
And what do you do
We
besides everything?
we just come on talk shows like this
No, I'm gonna
and
kick
say
your
we have a
kneecap.
company. We do 3 main things. We consult, we market, and we develop. And then what it is we consult, market, and develop are people, so individuals, ideas, and obviously companies. So the majority of stuff we work on is entertainers. So you're an actor. I heard you saying you went into this agent thing earlier. So you would be someone that comes to us, and we could either teach you how to be successful in the business, we could help you or teach you how to market yourself, or we can help develop you. The development used to be more of a management kind of thing, but we stopped doing that because it costs a lot of money to manage someone that goes, oh, I slept through, I didn't mean to miss the interview, and you're like, but it affects me and all the other people that we represent when you don't do right by us. So our development is more like, we tell you what you need, and maybe you have an idea for a television show or a movie or even a short. So we help you establish that. We say this is how you raise money. If you don't want to raise money, these are the free avenues you could do, and so that's really what we focus on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Yeah. How long have you had that?
Believe it or not, I've had that. So I started BBR Productions basically when I started as an illustrator, but I didn't have it incorporated because I wasn't 18 yet. But BBR was the monarch that I worked under, and so that's about 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean.
You were probably one of those crazy kids, weren't you?
No, I'm still a crazy kid.
Just it's just so much energy and so much drive into so many different things. It's how do you stay focused when you need to?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because going back to actors, even comedians and musicians, there isn't so many things I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on one thing, me. I'm focusing on me as a company, as my career. It just so happens I do these other things. When you start thinking about acting as what you like, that's your job, you're no longer building your career because what you do is not your job. It just so happens you can do this thing, but you could do it for free. You could sit at home and do it for free. The only reason you get paid is because you did your job. But your job is everything that leads you to the reward to get paid to do what you do. And a lot of people say, well, what is my job then? And you're like, well, network market practice, managing your time, money, and people, learning how to organize your money into security, growth, and dreams so you can protect yourself, invest in yourself, and of course, reward yourself. And then you want to also remain as an entrepreneurial brain, which means you're finding solutions, thinking outside the box. A lot of people focus on, I can't get to the audition because I don't have a car. Well, why don't we focus on how do I get to the audition?
Yeah.
You sit there, you go, maybe I could call someone, I could borrow a car, maybe I could ask someone to take me for a ride, maybe I could call Uber, maybe I could get a taxi. All right, I don't have money for Uber or a taxi. All right, let's try something else. Why don't I ask my neighbor, what's the worst thing that can happen? They say no. The idea is that these things are your job. And also you should be investing in assets at a certain point once you have established your organized money. But most performers, which is who I deal with, they say, well, I'm trying to make money acting. And you're like, no, you should try to be making money as a career, and it just so happens you act and you get paid for it. So focus on your career and not acting, and you'll actually be more successful quicker with more opportunities and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that to answer your question, that's how I focus on everything. I'm me, and it just so happens I do these other things. So,
So you have the whole basket, and that's just what's in the basket.
It's just what's in. I cater to the basket. I treat it nicely. I make sure it's happy, hungry, not hungry but fed. And then at the same time, if someone comes to me and they say, "Hey, can you help me market something?" and I go, "Yeah." If they go, so I just got hired to write some scripts, so now I could do that. But it's not like I'm going around saying, "Hey, I write scripts. You should hire me to write scripts," because now I'm taking away from my career. I'm focusing on a thing that I do. And the thing I do is I do that maybe once every 2 or 3 months. So if I focus on my career, opportunities come because relationships create friendships. And everybody says, I want to work with my friends. So that's how you do it. And something I actually tell a lot of people is like, they have doubts. They go, nothing's happening. I'm having a dry, I wish I could have more auditions. Well, I always say, when in doubt, reach out. So if you understand your circle of influence, your friends, family, and associates, and you know the value within those relationships, just reach out. Don't ask for anything, but just, hey, what do you want to do? You want to get some coffee? Because you never know. You hang out, and then they're like, oh, I totally, I should have thought of you. I'm working on this thing. You want to come down and meet so-and-so? We need this, blah, blah, blah. And you realize, oh, wow, if I'm seen and present, opportunities open themselves up. So that's what I focus on. I focus on my job as a person.
Because, just to simplify some of the point that you were making, I think in my opinion, most of the time, the only stupid question is the one that's not asked.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You know, and again, that comes down to the entrepreneurial brain. Like if I just sit here and I'm like, I'm thinking of the issue, but I'm not asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like when I speak at seminars for the help to people, and the chairs. You know, I talk to a lot of chairs sometimes. You know, especially before anyone shows up. But you know, I sit there and sometimes they'll ask a question and they start off with this self-doubt. They're like, "This is going to sound like a stupid question." And I'm like, "Just ask the question."
Why preface?
Yeah, like you don't know. How it's like someone riding a bicycle for the first time in their life. They're not bad at riding a bike because they don't know how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
They're learning. But if they're riding a bike for, say, 20 years and they still fall on their face every time they get on it, they're a bad bike rider. They're terrible at bike riding. So, you know, one of the things is you have to motivate yourself and inspire yourself. You know, it's not that you're bad at something if you're starting off. Everyone can't do something they've never done.
Right.
So just put effort into it, and you know, in like 5 years, if you're still terrible, then maybe pick something else up. But you know, no.
If you're still terrible.
If you're still terrible, I've been trying to be a skydiver. Well, I'm scared of heights, though. Well, have you been practicing? No. I can't go past 10 feet.
No.
You might want to try something else.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Especially, sometimes life throws a few roadblocks in your path, and you face some genuine adversity, and that's a good mindset to have as you work your way around it. And I'm sure we've all dealt with that, and you've probably dealt with that as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone has adversities. I mean, it could be anything from health to even financial. I mean, you know, I didn't start off with money, you know, and I didn't start off where I am. And I'm sure you're alluding to my battle with cancer, you know, which is one of the reasons I focused on the book per se, because I was all over the place with chaos. I was just like, let me just write, because in my brain I was like, I almost died. Let me get everything out, just in case it happens again, you know. And you know, I was writing script after script. I was writing book. I was just like, if it's in my head, I started playing guitar again, you know, and writing music. And then at some point I was just like, why don't I just focus on something, and you know, at least it'll be not that I was trying to be successful with the book, but in my head, I was like, if I focus on this, at least I can focus my energy and my mind, and because it was more for therapy.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Something
reason.
positive.
Yeah. You know, like you're sitting there going, what do I do? I'll do everything because I have it in my head. And then you're like, maybe I'll focus on this thing.
I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah. Oh, me too. And my wife as well, because I give good foot massages. But don't tell anyone I said that. No. So exactly, adversity. You know, you got to find, because I could have went the other way. I could have been like, this is terrible. I have cancer. I'm gonna, you know. And I was very close to death. Like they literally had to throw me in to operate on me the month later. Like I couldn't do any chemo. They were just like, we need to operate. And I was like, oh, okay, what are we doing? You know, and they're like, this, and this. And I was like, all right. And then you process it, and you know, it was terrifying, you know, obviously. But there was just a certain point, that's my Long Island accent coming out. There was a certain point where I was thinking, you know, my father was in Vietnam. And something he said to me when I was younger, it was a month prior to this moment. When I was very young, he said to me, he goes, because sometimes he would come out of these hazes of his post-traumatic stress and be like, son, I got to tell you something. You know, like, you ever kill a man? You know, and then he's like, the way I got through it. No, but his advice to me was, you know, if I didn't laugh, I would have never came out of Vietnam, even if I came out of Vietnam. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And while I was in bed at the hospital, and they had told me this, and a few hours later, that thought came to my head. And I just, you know, I'm an entertainer. I like making people laugh, but I like being happy. No matter how sad I ever get, or how, you know, I have bad days, but in my head I was like, you know what, if I'm not gonna make it, I want to be happy. But if I do make it, I also want to be happy. And I just, from that point on, people didn't even know I was fighting cancer. Like I was doing stuff still. Like I went to California maybe like 5 months after the operation, like just because I had this, I was trying to sell my television show, and but like in my head, that was right for me. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to do things. And it wasn't like I was doing things to be happy. It's just, I was being me. So I was happy. So I just made a conscious decision to just you know, like I was like, I told my friends, like, please joke about the cancer. Like, don't talk to me like I have cancer. Like, make jokes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, cancer humor grows on you. You know, it's okay. You know, throw it on me. You know, but yeah, you know, that's again, that's the entrepreneurial brain, is finding solutions, and that was my solution to get through it. Was have fun with it, make jokes, you know, not die. You know, little things.
Good things.
Yeah, good things, good things. Yeah.
Little things.
My bill collectors were like, we're so happy you made it. Here's the interest.
Well, in order to pay your bills, where can people find
You
more
can
information
actually
about the
go
book?
directly to makearightleft.here.com.
Make a right left here?
Yeah, do you have what it takes to make a right left here? It's very simple. You have a drive in a car and someone says, hey, make a left right here. It's the exact opposite. Make a right left here.com. It's just easier than spelling my name.
I saw that I somewhere on the interwebs, and I was like, and I was trying to pick it apart, and I was like, I'm into it too much.
Yeah, but when you go there, you understand what the name means, because everything is like, whoa, you know, it's just it's bizarre, and you know, I have a big head on like all these weird bodies. You know.
Yeah, what is that?
That's just my brand. That's just, you know, I live by three things: educate, entertain, and enlighten. And enlighten doesn't have to be like spiritual. It just has to be enlighten you to a sense of humor, or enlighten you to a sense of self. So I don't take myself too seriously, even though I'm serious about humor. I'm not like when I speak, I don't go up there in a suit. You know.
No, you don't strike me as a suit guy.
I'm just not a suit guy. I go up there. I mean, I tell jokes before I even get into the good information. Then I get into the good information, and then I still tell jokes because, you know, again, even before cancer, life is about laughing, because life without laughter is not life at all. And so when you go to my website, you're seeing a lot of my personality.
I was wondering about go check out his website, because it was weird to me. He's got this weird big head. Like I was looking at images online. I'm like, what the hell does he really look like?
Well, the face is exactly like mine.
Yeah, but you had these like crazy expressions. Yes, yes. These crazy looks on your face.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I do that because
I was relieved when I met you in person. I was like, oh, all right.
You thought I was stuck that way?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was fearful of it too, because my mom always said, if you make those silly faces, your face is gonna get stuck like that.
That's a lie.
And I was like, oh, all right, that's scary, you know. But it's just me having fun, you know.
Make a right left here.
Yeah, make a right left here.
.com.
You can find everything there. You can find you can buy Tootsie Rolls. You could no.
Also check out his website, BBR Productions.
Yeah, BBR Productions. You could actually get to that website through Make a Right Left Here as well. And
so much information on that website too.
Oh, BBR? Well, yeah, because we do so much, but we also try to, so if you go through it, you'll learn things as well.
Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 minutes a day. And no, I sleep when people are talking to me, when you know.
Like a giraffe.
Yeah, like a giraffe, you know. I don't make any noises like a giraffe. It's very crazy, you know. They're silent creatures, which is like, but why are they silent? They're so big, you're gonna see them. That's not even helpful.
They should be talkative.
Yeah, they got a sticky tongue, which is the longest tongue out of all the mammals, you know, except for maybe a whale. But like they're silent, they don't make noises.
I don't know, but that's a whole other show.
I'll be back.
Weird.
I'll be back.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. This is
you
exciting.
gotta come back when you write your self-help book.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When
that
that's
will be
done.
out next year.
Okay.
Because I need help.
You need, well,
Please help me.
What's funny is I call it a self-help book, but like George Carlin says, it's not self-help, it's help.
Yeah. Oh, I miss him.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Clara.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching. I'm John Griffith,
I'm Cara Kelduff.
and we'll be back.